Right, welcome ladies and gents. We've got another video on Sweet Baby Inc. This time, the CEO, very specifically, who compares white male gamers, very specifically white male gamers, to picky babies. These people have a very big issue with race, don't they? Very big issue with race. So, let's take a look at this today. Hit subscribe if you're new here, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. I hope you're having a great day. Let's take a look, shall we? So, Sweet Baby Inc. CEO and the co-founder, Kim Belair, compares white male gamers to picky babies. Huh. Alright, well you can imagine what this is all about, by the way. Obviously, if you didn't know, just as a quick one, Sweet Baby Inc. is a company which is employed by game studios to validate their wokeness. So you must gain woke points to pass the Sweet Baby Inc., basically. That's what it's all about. That's what they do. They're throwing massive tantrums at the moment because there is a Steam curator just telling everyone what games they work on, as if that's such an issue for a company that should be proud of what they do. Very clearly they're not. That would beg the question, why? And now, because essentially the Streisand effect has happened, they have really kicked up a fuss about a Steam curator, Sweet Baby Inc. detected, or Sweet Baby detected, curating, showing what games they work on, because they've kicked up such a huge stink about that. People have just done massive deep dives, and that's what the internet does. So let's take a look at this deep dive, because this is fascinating stuff. So basically, Sweet Baby Inc. CEO and co-founder Kim Belair previously compared white male gamers to picky gamers, as she explained how her company gained influence on major video game developers during a 2019 Game Developers Conference. So really explaining how they got a stranglehold on the industry. At the beginning of her presentation, Belair made it abundantly clear what her and her company's goals are. We do narrative development in games and kind of beyond, and we try to bring inclusion, diversity, and new ideas kind of to the industry. Later in her presentation, which I'll leave this article linked down below, by the way, it's from That Park Place. It says later in her presentation, she also confirmed the company acts as sensitivity readers for video games, saying, "We need sensitivity readers. We need risk assessment." Why? What? And these are, like, again, important services that I literally list on every PDF that I send out to be like, hey, I can do risk assessment and sensitivity reading. What? Why? Why do you guys need... Why? Why is this an important thing? Risk assessment, maybe, if someone's going to hurt themselves. Not going to hurt themselves playing a game. And sensitivity reading? What has actually happened to modern day society that we're in this state? I've got to do a sensitivity reading to make sure it doesn't offend someone. Well, it doesn't really matter if it offends someone. You choose to take offence. You can't give offence. You choose to take it. And it's purely subjective. What one person... I could say my dear, right? Perfectly nice, pleasant thing to say. But you bring that, you know, to the wrong person, they'll take offence to it. Who cares? Who cares? Intent matters. Not offence, intent matters. If I intend to cause offence, then it matters. But even then it doesn't really. These people need to grow up. Absolutely absurd. So about 2/3 through the 30-minute presentation, Belair compared white male gamers to picky babies by saying, I think in our industry, and in so many creative industries, if you want to look at film and television and any art form, we start treating our core demographics as a fixed and static value, something that does not want to change, and something that is locked in place. So, despite the changing face of audiences, despite the changing face of conferences like this one, we still look at our core demographic and say, okay, they're white, cis, hetero males, and we cater almost exclusively to them. And the problem is that we don't just cater to them like, you know, here's something we think you'll enjoy. We cater to them like a picky baby. You should cater to them like your customer. because that's what they are. And without these individuals that you freely admit are your core demographic, you wouldn't actually be able to do anything that you do. You wouldn't be able to make any games at all. It's actually really important that these people learn this and respect their audience. Movies haven't done it for some time. What's happened to movies? Diminishing returns. Box office bombs after box office bombs. Games companies now have huge issues releasing games that are fundamentally broken. And now we find out that they think you, the consumer, the customer, is a picky baby. Well done. Well done. You've pissed a lot of people off already. Crazy. So she elaborated further. She says, we feed them the same thing that we know that they love, and we keep on feeding it. We're like, here you go. We know you love it. Eat this, eat this, eat this. So then when they get anything else, they react as a picky baby would, which would be like, oh, no thank you. I do not want this. And we've actually done this so long that what we're doing is creating an entire nation of picky babies, and they make us scared to deviate from what we actually want to do, just in case these picky babies don't want to play our games. I'm fundamentally flabbergasted. So, you freely admit it's what you want to do. You freely admit that you've been catering to your audiences as you should as a business. And then you're like, oh, actually, you know what? We actually don't want to do that. And also, you can't compare them to picky babies. The difference about a baby is you're feeding them something which they're supposed to eat, and they're not a customer. There's not a transactional element there. There's a transactional element here with your customers. They are buying a game from you at great expense. Make it something that they want at the end of the day. That's as simple as that. It is as simple as that. Outrageous. Anyway, Belair's entire discussion was about how she can add black characters to video games. Of course, under the guise of representation, she revealed she actually advised one company to remove a Frenchman. Oh, okay. Why? I once worked on a project where they had an all-white cast, where they expressed their desire. Okay, we need to mix it up a bit. How about this character's like stereotypically French? So they have a beret and they have a striped shirt. And I was like, okay, if you need to do that, can we at least make them a person of colour? And they said, oh no, that would be weird. They're already French. So I want to do this better, she stated. Belair would then double down on her picky baby metaphor. Says, I do like to imagine that when we look at white guys, and there's several of you here, so literally just insulting people. I think when we look at you, we say, okay, you can't possibly enjoy this. But I think they want also, and maybe you want to also experience new and different stories. I think we need to step out of this rule that, like, white men can't enjoy fantasy worlds. Aliens, sci-fi monsters, anything so long as it's through a lens that looks exactly like them. Sorry, what? I think we need to step out of this rule that white men can enjoy fantasy worlds, all this other stuff, only if it's through playing as a white character. That's nonsense. That is such nonsense. Because if that's the kind of person that we're always going to cater to, you mean your customers, you're never going to innovate. It doesn't matter. You don't have to fucking innovate. You innovate through technology, dipshit. You're never going to change things. You don't have to change things. You just have to make money. You're a business. You're going to keep feeding the picky baby. Well, isn't that interesting that you literally called your company Sweet Baby Inc? Are we starting to see a trend here? A really nefarious trend with these people? You call your company Sweet Baby Inc and you call the audience babies. Coincidence? I think not. And we cannot continue to try to create art under a system that is going to bar innovation for fear of a picky baby throwing a tantrum. Right. What you actually mean is we can't let profit get in the way of the message. I don't think it's pie in the sky thinking to go like, hey, maybe we can invite white dudes to play as other people and experience different things through someone else's eyes. And if they don't like it, we have to start thinking we're not losing, they're losing. You are losing. And we're losing because we're going to let them stand in the way of our progress and our innovation. Your innovation doesn't matter. You're a business. What's wrong with you? First and foremost, as a business, you need to make money. You've got a duty to shareholders. What's wrong with you? Oh my god. This person. Belair then shared how she and Sweet Baby Inc. had already begun changing the industry to fit her vision. If you're creative working in AAA, which I did for many years, put this stuff up to your higher-ups, and if they don't see the value and what you're asking for when you ask for consultants, when you ask for research, go have a coffee with your marketing team and just terrify them with the possibility of what's going to happen if they don't give you what you want. Because they have to consider, I say that out loud as a joke, but it's actually very, very true, because if you start to consider the people who are player and audience facing, and you have to deal with mitigating harm and with keeping the sentiment around the game and their project positive, there's like a genuine value that you can impress upon them ethically and financially. You could say this is important. You still haven't explained how it's important. Dickhead. It's also a valid discussion to have, because if you're working with the thin narrative budget and you work in AAA, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised or dismayed by the amount of money that marketing can give you. None of what we're doing is about ticking boxes or about a veneer of wokeness. We actually have to care about making this stuff, all through a woke lens, obviously. I'm amazed. I didn't think it could get worse. But, yeah, it did. I mean, they fundamentally despise customers, don't they? That is genuinely what this is. They despise customers. So, no, there you go. I don't have much else to say on this, to be fair. Thoughts? Drop them down below. Take care. Bye-bye now.